Continuing now with our lead story, the racial component in the Michael Jackson situation. Yesterday at the memorial service in Los Angeles, Al Sharpton said this.
Michael made us love each other. Michael taught us to stand with each other. And I want his 3 children to know, wasn't nothing strange about your daddy. It was strange what your daddy had to deal with.
And with us now is Reverend Sharpton. Nothing strange about Michael Jackson? All that plastic surgery, altering his face and all of that, the hundreds of thousands of dollars spent on prescription drugs, in vitro on white kids, when you're a black man, nothing strange about him?
Well, no. I think, first of all...
you don't think any of that's strange?
First of all, you could probably have a large percentage of Americans that have had plastic surgery.
Not like that.
Well, maybe he had more resources. Maybe a lot of this is exaggerated. Let's deal with the issue. The issue is that it is totally irresponsible for a lawmaker to disregard the law. Charges were made against Michael Jackson, a mostly non-black jury. He talks about 9 out of 10. Let's try 12 out of 12. And a jury said he was not guilty of child molestation. That's all. And it's as reckless and irresponsible to say he's a child molester as it would be for me to come on here and say Dick Cheney shoots his friends hunting. A friend, no, let me finish. A friend was shot, but there's no conclusion that he did.
I challenged the congressman on that very point, as you just heard. But that's not a racial issue.
I didn't say anything about race.
But Bobby Rush and Hazel Dukes are saying because the congressman criticized Jackson, but he's a racist. I mean, that's not right.
I think you said they implied. I don't know how they implied it. I don't need
how
to
they
be
implied
a racist.
it was they said, well, this is Jim Crow stuff.
Well,
that's an implication there.
I'm saying it's reckless and it is totally irresponsible for a lawmaker to say that a jury means nothing. Let's not talk about 9 out of 10 in his district. It's about 12 juries that says he's not a child molester.
That is correct.
All right.
That is correct.
That's all.
Okay. But how do you describe an adult male, single, admittedly bringing young children into his bed to sleep with them?
What I don't describe it...
How do you describe it?
What I don't describe it is something that a jury has already said it was not.
But how do you describe it?
Whether I say Michael had arrested development, whether I said Michael dealt with children different ways or not, is immaterial. We're talking about a person that votes on laws saying that I don't care what a jury says, I'm going to impose a criminal accusation anyway.
But
that's irresponsible.
You're bringing a very narrow standard to the definition of Michael Jackson.
What he said.
No.
The congressman made a criminal allegation that is totally untrue.
All right. And
totally been answered.
And people can make up their mind about
that's all.
that. Let's deal with the facts. You, Reverend Sharpton, are bringing a very narrow definition to Michael Jackson. You got up there in front of the world yesterday and you portrayed him as another Martin Luther King Jr. He brought us all together.
He did. First of all, people can go to my Facebook page.
That's hyperbole.
People can go to my Facebook and see the whole speech. What I said
I saw the whole speech.
What I said was that Michael Jackson, in his career, pop culture, broke down racial barriers. First black to get MTV to run blacks videos. His first black to get people like Rolling Stone who are blacks on the cover. These are facts. This is not my guess. That We Are the World was the first time a superstar got other superstars to help African hunger. This is a fact. You may not like it, Mr. King may not like it, but those are facts. And I think that for me to say that there's, for you and anyone else to raise allegations about his personal life doesn't answer the fact of what he did. He brought people together. That is as irresponsible as someone saying, we're going to honor President X in history. And I say, but President X in his personal life did so-and-so. What does that have to do with the fact that he was president? Did Michael Jackson not do the things I just outlined?
Yeah, but they're not important.
Well, then that's why he's being
They're
saluted.
not important.
They're not important.
No, what MTV does isn't important. What Rolling Stone magazine
It is important to the millions of people that bought his records.
And that's okay.
He is the top record seller in the world.
Look, you used to work for James. Used to work for James Brown.
I never worked for James Brown. James Brown and I had a family.
All right, but he was a pioneer.
And so was Michael Jackson. And there were allegations against James Brown.
Answer me this. I heard a lot of people yesterday, and I think you were one of them, but correct me if I'm wrong, saying that Michael Jackson was some kind of African-American icon.
Yeah, he was.
Well, then why did he have white children?
What does that have to do? So,
well, what does that have to do? He chose to have in vitro by a white woman and a white man. What does that have to do?
So in order for him to be an African-American
icon? Why would he have that choice?
He is
Why?
I'm trying to answer you. Would you like an answer
from
an African-American?
Yes.
Because he broke all records. He changed music. He brought people together.
The kids.
We didn't say he was an African-American father of African-American children.
You said
we said he was an African-American icon. He is.
Why? But why would he have white kids then?
What he did in his personal life, in his personal choice, has nothing to do with his iconic status. If I said that Bill O'Reilly has a hot television show, does that mean I have the right to go to your house and say, but how come his kids chew bubble gum?
What
does one have to do with the other?
If you were, let me say something, I'll give you the last word.
Okay.
If you were just to say that Michael Jackson was an extraordinary entertainer that broke down entertainment barriers, I'd be agreeing with you 100%. But you went farther than that. And you put him up as some kind of civil rights hero, and it doesn't wash.
And I maintain it washes with the millions upon millions of people.
Doesn't wash with the facts.
You said you were going to give me the last word.
I did.
The fact is, he sold more records than anyone in history. The fact is, he broke every record. And you and Mr. King, with these imaginary millions that are against him, can't document. I can document the millions that was with Mr. Jackson. I can only see you and Mr. King and some undocumented people that are upset that he holds the record.
I'm not upset about anything.
Well,
I want to put the man in proper context.
And the proper context
O.J. Simpson won the Heisman Trophy.
We're not talking about a game here. We're talking about a fact that he broke those barriers.
That's
and
entertainment.
Those barriers were very important. Other people, because he broke those barriers, are able to use those means now to enhance their careers.
Now, just like Congressman King, you're a stand-up guy.
And just like
Coming in.
Mr. King said to you, I appreciate you letting me come.
All right. Directly ahead.